Make sure that you jump through all the hoops. We've done that today. Everybody's doing that day because we want to show we have rights and we're going to exercise those rights. Now, there's not a whole lot more I can say about it. You all have said everything that needs to be said, and I'm very, very thankful to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Sir, would you like me to tell me your name?
Don Flowers, Springfield, Kentucky.
Don, thank you very much for letting me talk to you on camera here.
No problem.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you know about what's going on out here?
Well, this started, I think, as a real grassroots effort of online people just talking about showing up at each state capitol today, all across the United States, just in support of the Second Amendment and our right to bear arms and defend ourselves.
Excellent. Why are you here?
Basically for that same purpose, because the Second Amendment rights shall not be infringed, so we're just here in a very peaceable way to show our support and to show that we are supporting that we all have the right to bear arms and we all have a right to defend ourselves.
Can you tell us your name, sir?
Drew Allgaier.
Drew, speak nice and loud, okay, so that because the wind kind of blocks out the sound sometimes on this camera, but can you tell us about why you're here at this rally?
I'm here at this rally because I personally am a former Marine. I'm very much a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution of America, and I believe that apathy is what's killing it right now, and if we don't show up and do this, we're going to be more screwed than we already are,
well,
quite frankly.
I thank you for your service to our country, sir.
A lot of things.
I see that you have a emblem on your shirt there. Are you a firefighter, sir?
Volunteer fire officer, yes.
I thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And as a first responder type person, how do you feel that the Second Amendment is important for public safety?
Because of public safety, it's important for everybody's safety. And while I am a public servant, I'm also just a private father and husband and all that, so the more citizens we can have, the safer the better. And as a public servant and first responder, I can tell you that a lot of times the citizens are the first ones there that can make a difference before the professionals, quote unquote, get there. That's why we have fire extinguishers in schools, so maybe they can have a chance to put the fire out. They don't sit there and let the building burn down and let everybody die while they're waiting for professionals to show up. It's their job to do the best they can do with what they have while they're calling for the professionals. So if we get to a fire and it's out by a fire extinguisher, I say more power to it. In the same way in law enforcement, responding as an EMT, I was an EMT for 10 years. If I showed up and the good guy shot the bad guy versus 10 good guys laying there dead, that does my job for me. The public has been saved. I don't mind doing the paperwork if the good people are alive.
That's a good point. Do you think that there is a correlation with, in other words, an umbrella effect where people who are gun owners, just us having the right to own arms, actually protects people even who aren't gun owners, in that it makes a criminal think twice before he attacks anybody?
Proven fact, you can look it up, don't take my word for it. In places where there are less gun controls, your Montanas or wherever it may be, there is absolutely less crime, there's less home intrusion, there are less people causing problems on the street, in bars, out in public, or shooting other people. The mortality rates are down from guns and everything else. Because of why? Because of common respect. People, if you assume and expect that someone else has a weapon and they're going to defend themselves, you're going to be less likely to attack them or break in and so forth. That's why statistically, factually, places where you have what they call gun-free zones are statistically higher to show to have deaths by gun and criminal activity, because the criminals are still going to break the law.
The same damn one that was over big guy.
80 years. Like that. And there's a whole lot of things that's going on behind.
You guys doing surveillance on us in the back?
Right now.
What is your feeling about gun-free zones, allowing teachers to be armed in school, or armed guards in schools? What are your thoughts on that?
Why should we have a combat veteran in the Anderson County school system? Why should he, still carry owner and combat veteran, he has to leave his gun in his vehicle? Why is that? I don't understand that. What kind of moron thinks that he's qualified by the state of Kentucky to carry a firearm?
he's qualified by the United States Marine Corps to carry a firearm, and then he shows up at school, and all of a sudden he can't. And people have to hide behind a no weapons sticker on the door and defend the school with a dry erase marker. I don't understand how asinine that is. And I'm not saying arm every teacher, give every teacher that's been trained the opportunity to carry out their Second Amendment right. They have a right to free speech. They have a right to not quarter troops in their home. They have a right to against illegal search and seizures. Why not have a God-given right, as it is an alienable right, to defend themselves with a firearm, with a weapon?
When I'm just going to pan the camera around here and look at all these people out here. When you take a look at this type of gathering, do you feel that this is a sign of a movement in this country towards understanding the Constitution once again? Do you feel this gives hope? How do you feel about this?
It gives me hope. This was put on very short notice. I learned about it just by hand from a weapons blog, and I had to verify that it was even going on. I never could verify that. Actually, I just showed up. And it gives me a lot of hope that people in this country are scared. They're worried. They hear that their elected royalty, the Senate, the United States Senate hadn't even passed a budget in 4 years, and they started to tell us what kind of weapons we could have. And it's so funny how the weapons they take from us are the ones that we could actually defend ourselves with against a tyrannical government. I don't hear restrictions on .380 automatics, Walther PPKs, such. I don't hear anything about that. But they don't want me to have the same weapons that they're protected with.
Excellent. So this isn't. So you don't believe that the Second Amendment is just about hunters' rights?
No, because I don't hunt at all. No one in my family does. We have no objections to it, but we are all sport shooters. My kids are very involved in the 4-H shooting program, and we just shoot for the fun and for the skill of it.
So what would you say to the people who say that having a quote-unquote assault weapon is an illegitimate interpretation of the Second Amendment because an AR-15 or an AK or such type rifle would not be a good sporting rifle and would not be a good hunting rifle?
Well, there's a gentleman up here carrying a Kentucky long rifle flintlock that has it labeled as an 18th century assault rifle. So there really is no such thing as an assault rifle. If I pull out a .22 and shoot you, it's an assault rifle.
Are you also an Oath Keeper, is that right?
Indeed I am. I'm a card-carrying member of the Oath Keepers, like many of the folks I know are as well.
Can you tell us what the Oath Keepers is?
Oath Keepers is basically a group of us who basically said we're going to defend the Constitution at all costs with our life, just like we originally said we would when we signed up for active duty. So most of them are former military, former law enforcement, or even active duty, or doesn't even have to be a veteran. It could be just a citizen supporter, but basically who have said we're going to defend the Constitution, period, end of story. The Constitution is the Constitution, and supreme law, and we want to defend that against, ultimately any kind of tyranny whatsoever, even in America.
So the oath in Oath Keeper, what is that oath?
That oath is to protect the American citizens and defend our Constitution and all the amendments therein, such as the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Tell me, what does the Second Amendment mean to you personally?
To me personally, it means truly representing for the rest of the world what it can mean to live free with autonomy as a citizen with less centralized control and more power at the state and personal level as our forefathers intended it, as it was in the beginning, and hopefully it will be for the life of generations to come in this incredible country.